Good evening, bookies. My name is Hannah, and today we are doing a book haul. So today I have 9 books that I'm going to be showing you guys. I bought 7 of them today, and then I bought 2 of them earlier this week, and I thought, as kind of coming back from my little short break that I had, that I would show you guys all of the books I purchased. P.S. I know I've been gone for a week. I kind of needed a little bit of a break. There was no warning. I gave you guys no warning, and I'm sorry, but I needed a break for a minute, and so I decided to take one. Also, you won't be getting a video on Friday. You won't be getting a video until Saturday. I will post a video at midnight on Saturday, so 12 a.m. Saturday. That is because I am going to reorganize my bookshelves because I have all these books to put on there and these books over here to put on there, and I just think, well, I have Friday off, or I'm supposed to have Friday off, so I'm just going to reorganize all of them, and then you will get that video on Saturday. So yeah, let's just get into the book haul now. Okay, so first thing I have is not a book, but you probably saw me just barely waving it around because I was trying to see how they worked, and I was waving them around like an idiot. And these are magnetic bookmarks, and I'm going to check it out real quick. Slip that off. Sherlock's going to be real interested in this. Give him a second. Okay, so I chose the puppy paws because I like dogs. Emilia had a fox, a squirrel, a raccoon, and a badger on hers. So what they are is, say this is like my book right here. So I would grab one of these and just, oh, come on, my fingers aren't working today. There we go, okay. You grab one of these and just kind of fold it over the top of your page and boom. Like that. And the arrow is supposedly supposed to be what page you were on. So there's that. I wonder if they go in like this, actually. Huh. So I'll probably try that out later. Okay, now let's get on to the books. So the first book I picked it up because I saw the trailer for it the other day, and I thought, well, that looks kind of interesting. And then I saw it in the bookstore, and I read the back, and I was like, that sounds really interesting. So I decided to pick it up, and that is Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. And I actually find this super interesting. I probably want to pick this up before I see the movie, as per usual. This is about like living cities, or like mobile cities that try to take over each other, and it sounds super interesting, so it was kind of cheap, and I was like, well, I'll just pick it up real quick, and so I did. So the next book I have, I kind of hunted it down in the bookstore because it was not where I expected, but when I think about it, I found exactly where I should have expected it to be, and that is Furthermore by Muffy. This also sounds super good, which is one of the reasons I picked it up. I've been seeing this book everywhere, be it on BookTube or Bookstagram or even Tumblr. I've seen it everywhere. And I think the second one just came out or something like that. So I specifically walked into the bookstore hoping to find this one. I checked the teen section and didn't find it there. I was like, well, it doesn't seem like a book that would be an adult book. So I went to the back of the kids section, knowing that the kids section holds some gems that don't belong there. And there it was. I had to kind of search around for it a little bit, but once I found it, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have it. So yeah. So the third book I have has kind of a funny story to it. Before we went to the bookstore, we went to Dollar Tree, and everything is for $1. And usually I won't even glance in the book section because usually they're just a ton of books that, 1, I've never heard of, or 2, I would not be interested in. But as I was going by today, I actually surprisingly found Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan, and I've seen a couple of my booktubers had this book. I haven't heard any reviews on it. It does sound super good. Again, all of these probably sound super good. But what surprised me more was the fact that I got this literally for $1, for $1. So yeah, it was kind of surprising to me, and so I got this for cheaper than I ever imagined I would ever get a book for. So the fourth book I have is The Last Boy and Girl in the World by Siobhan Vivian, and this is about a world or this city where it's kind of flooding, so everyone like picks up and leaves. The government tells everybody to leave, and the teenagers kind of see this as a chance to go out with a bang and see everything and have fun. So like they're throwing parties in abandoned houses, they're racing canoes down the street, and our main character decides that this would be a perfect time to ask the boy she's been crushing on and just tell him that she likes him. And it seems like an interesting concept because it's like you don't know if they're ever gonna, I don't know. I want to say you don't know if they're ever going to see them again or whatever, but it sounds super good, and I've looked at this a couple times every time I go to the bookstore, but I think this was the only chance that I might ever get to pick it up, so I'm glad I did. So the 5th book I have, I've really been wanting to pick up for a very long time. The last time I was at the bookstore I wanted to pick it up, but I wanted to pick up another book, and I was like, well, I can't spend... It was a whole complicated thing because I didn't want to get a book I'd already read and I had a very limited amount of money. So I was like, I'm going to get 2 books that I haven't read. So this book was not included in that spree, but it was included in this one, and I'm very glad it was because it was like I walked in, I knew I had enough money, and the girl I was with was like, oh, let's go get that book real quick, and she grabbed it off the shelf and handed it to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting it today. And that book is City of Bones, the 10th anniversary edition. Holy cow, it is so pretty. Can you see the shine on that baby? And it's got illustrations in it. Let me find you an illustration real quickly. See that? This probably was one of the most expensive books that I bought today, but it was completely worth it. I know I'm supposed to be rereading this series and I haven't yet. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with my plan. But I probably was, I just needed it. It was that kind of book where it's like I need this book today while I have a chance. So I picked it up. So the 6th book I have, I kind of read what it was about, and that I find it super interesting anyway. But I think I mostly picked it up because I've read one of these authors' other books, and I love this book. And it is Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I've read These Broken Stars, but I haven't read This Shattered World and Their Fractured Light yet. But I saw this today. It's kind of small. It's a very small book. And I read the inside, and I was like, that sounds super interesting. You know, alien planets, you know, sounds like it'll have action in it. I'm super excited to actually read this one, and I'm very glad I picked it up today. So the 7th book I have is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I know this has fae or fairies in it, and I am a sucker for fairies. I love them so much. I wasn't originally going to pick up this book. Just, I don't know, I really haven't been into much reading, and like I saw this and I read the beginning of it and I was like, well, this doesn't sound very interesting. But then when I went back the other day, I was like, well, this sounds interesting now. So I decided to pick it up, and hopefully I will enjoy it as much as I have enjoyed her other books. And the final book that I have on this book haul is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I love Marissa Meyer. I love her writing, and when I saw that she came out with this kind of book, I was like, well, geez, I can't just leave it here. So I picked this up, and it sounds amazing. I'm so excited to get to this one. I love the cover too. Look how cool that cover looks. I don't know how soon I will get to this. I'm actually almost done with this one trilogy that I'm reading, and hopefully I'll be able to pick up my next book rather quickly. I haven't been keeping up with my goals at all, but I've read more books this year than I had last. Like, I'm doing pretty okay for how much I read last year, so I'm okay with how slow I'm reading. Hey there. So that is it for this book haul, but before we go, I'm going to quickly say that I am not doing anything for Valentine's Day. Like, I'm not doing any tags. I would do like a contemporary, my top 10 favorite contemporaries or something, but I don't think I've read 10 contemporaries in my life, so I wouldn't be able to do that. So I won't be doing anything for Valentine's Day, but I will see you guys on Saturday when I reorganize my bookshelves again, because I did tell you guys I do that pretty often, and now we have a ton of books, so I don't have any choice now. I have to reorganize my bookshelves. So yeah, that is it for this book haul. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys Saturday. Rock on. Hey guys, I'm Hannah at Heckyeahbooks, and today me and my sister, who you are going to meet in just a few seconds, we are doing the sibling